Vietnam has a population of 96,160,163. The total life expectancy in Vietnam is 73.7 years. For male it's 71.2 years and for female it's 76.4 years. The total dependency ratio is 42.5. The fertility rate is 1.81 children born woman. The birth rate in Vietnam is 15.5 births per 1,000 population. The death rate in Vietnam is 5.9 deaths per 1,000 population. The infant mortality rate is 17.3 deaths per 1,000 live births. From 1800 to 1914 there was a stable life expectancy rate. From 1914 to 1918 there was a massive decrease in life expectancy. World War I affected Vietnam greatly. This affected the life expectancy by decreasing it by from 30 years to 21 years. From 1939 to 1945, during World War II there was again a massive decrease. This affected the life expectancy by decreasing it by from 35 years to 17.7 years. From 1955 to 1975 there was a small decrease because of the Vietnam War. This affected the life expectancy by decreasing it by from 61 years to 58 years. In the 1980s there was a slow increase which affected the life expectancy by increasing it to 58 years to 75 years. From 1950 to 1965 there was a slow decrease in death rate after World War II. The death rate decreased from 15.5 to 10.2 deaths per 1,000. Then there was a slow increase from 1965 to 1976. This was because of the Vietnam War and the breakout of tuberculosis. The death rate increased from 10.2 to 11.8 deaths per 1,000. After 1976 to 1980 there was a slow decrease in death rate from 11.8 to 7.19 deaths per 1,000. This was because of the first Vietnam healthcare system was placed which continues to improve. From 1800 to 1914 there was a stable rate of 4.7 babies per woman. After 1914 there was a static increase and decrease until 1955. From World War I to World War II the rate increased from 4.69 to 5.03 babies per woman. From World War II to the First Indochina War the increase from 5.0 to 5.53 babies per woman. After the First Indochina War the rate still increased from 5.53 to 6.49 babies per woman. Then there was a fast decrease from 1980 to 2013 because of schools reopening, placement of healthcare and abortion become legal. The rate decreased from 6.49 to 1.7 babies per woman. From 1800 to 1900 there was stable rate of 417 child deaths. From 1900 to 1960 there was fast decrease of child deaths of 417 to 109. From 1980 onward there was a slow decrease of child death rate. This was because of the placement of the first healthcare system in Vietnam and Vietnam adopting an expanded program on immunization. The child death decreased from 67.6 to 22.1. Hanoi is found in the north of Vietnam. Hanoi is the most lived cities in the Vietnam with more than 2,300 to 5,200 people. Hanoi industry is 75.7% of the total industrial production value, with nearly 300,000 employees. Ho Chi Minh City is found in the south of Vietnam, is the second most lived city in Vietnam with 800 to 1,000 people. Ho Chi Minh City plays the leading role in the Vietnam economy. The city occupies 8.34% of Vietnam's population, but the GDP of Ho Chi Minh City accounts for 20.2% of the total GDP of Vietnam. Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City is found in very fertile area in Vietnam. This is why most people who live in Vietnam live in these areas because of the food and water supply. Because the soil determines how fast the food grows and how easy to find water. The area which have mountains are not very safe for people to live. The low temperatures in weather and unstable food and water supply. The dependency ratio at this time will be very high because of the amount of babies and the elders at the time. The infant population had the highest population during 1960s because having babies were essential at time because of the effect of wars and low income, 35 births per 1,000. The adult population is very low because of the men and women fighting in the Vietnam War which took place from 1955 to 1975. The dependency ratio increases in elder healthcare as the life expectancy increased to plus 100, which caused by the improvement of the healthcare system. The adult population increase as well. The infant population decreased because during this time the women and men literacy rate increased, which shows that they are more into studies than making babies. This is a sign of pet child, which means that in Vietnam there are a balanced amount of children in the country, which means that over a few more years, infants, adults and elders will be balanced in numbers. The dependency ratio decrease, however care must be promoted to the elders and infants. The two main factors I would like to change or improve is education and health. For education, I want to build public schools in rural and urban areas for children with low income. Also to expand school programs to give men and women opportunities for jobs. For healthcare, I want to improve the healthcare system by expanding the programs to rural areas. To develop a benefit program for elders and young mothers with low income or disabilities. Also to improve and develop children's hospitals to increase childcare and production. Lastly, to develop a one-child policy to control birth rate and fertility rate. These factors will help Vietnam with getting jobs to help their economy and their families. Also to make sure they are healthy for their community and their families.